Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or as we like to say here at Shady Acres Woodshop, howdy! Today I have a piece of plum wood. This wood is not totally dry. It was only cut about 6 or 7 months ago. My cheapy moisture meter says it's at 15%, which probably seems a little high to most of you, but in this area where I live, 10% is about as low as you can ever hope for. This piece is inspired by Kyler. I'm not going to try and make this anything like Kyler made his, because the piece of wood is not really the same. He inspired me because this is the kind of wood I like to turn. Odd shape, bark on, weird angles, that sort of thing. That's what got me into wood turning, and that's my preference. And his video, which he posted last week, and I'll link to his channel. His video reminded me of, hey buddy, you haven't been doing what you like to do. So we're gonna try it today. I don't really expect the bark to stay on. It was cut in the spring, and or early spring anyway. I don't think the bark's gonna stay on. I wish it would. Maybe some will, some won't, I don't know. So I'm going to get my mask and face shield on, sharpen up my 5/8" bowl gouge, and we're going to get to turning. As you might imagine, it's pretty out of balance, so the best I can do seems to be about 530 RPM. Starting to kind of look like a winged bowl, I guess. I think I'm going to sharpen up. I'll be right back. I want to finalize my tenon here first. So I switched to a swept back gouge for that. And I'm going to be using my larger jaws, and they have a dovetail on them, so I'm going to use my diamond point tool here to create that dovetail. And that looks good. Alright, I think it's time to sand. Oh joy. Well, I was trying to figure out how I want to sand this, and I could certainly use my right angle drill, which is what I normally use, and I probably will use this for the finer grits, but I'm going to use my Sandoflex for up through 180 grit. That's as fine as I have with the Sandoflex, because I think I can just get a lot cleaner sanding job with this. So it'll be rotating forward, the drill will be rotating forward, and it'll be like this. That just does a pretty nice job. So let me get my mask on here and we'll get to sanding. About 400 RPM. So I'll work at that for a while. Probably going to take me an hour, hour and a half to get this fully sanded. But I'll get it done and I'll bring you back when it's time to put some kind of finish on here. Let's see if this grain pops. Looks pretty nice anyway, already. Yeah, this is going to be a pretty bowl, I think, if I can hold it together. So I will put on at least 2 coats of this shellac-based sanding sealer, and then probably 2 coats of shellac. And I will bring you back when it's time to turn it around and mount it up on our tenon. I think I'll probably get a brush out as well and brush some of it into some of this bark. I don't know about all of it. So I'll see you back here in a little while. Okay, 2 coats of sanding sealer, 2 coats of shellac, and we're ready to turn this puppy around. This is what we have so far. I did take my finish and went up about an inch or 2 into the bark area. I don't know how much of that I'll get into when I'm turning the top side, but I just wanted to cover some of it anyway. And I like the looks of that. I hope you do. Actually, I like the overall looks of the bottom so far. So let's get it off of here. Lock up the spindle. I am going to change chucks because I'm lazy and I have a second chuck that has the larger jaws on it. And I always tighten this reversing screw just because I'm afraid I'll forget and not tighten it when I should have. And as I always do, I bring up the tailstock and advance the ram enough to drive that into the chuck jaws so that I know I'm well centered and well seated and don't have any issues some other time. So this is just going to be fun, that's all. So I will get my mask and face shield on, sharpen up my 5/8 inch bowl gouge, and we'll get to turning. This side drops off pretty quick, so I'm not going to have that big of a bowl, and I don't know if I'll be getting into this, and I don't know if maybe I should clean this end up or leave it natural like it is. We'll just see how it goes as we go along. Going to be turning it about 490 RPM because it is still pretty much out of balance. And I'm not making any attempt to keep the bark on. I'll just let go what wants to go and keep what wants to keep. Well, I can still go out here quite a ways, a good ½ inch, which means I'm going to be getting into this, but that's okay. I'm inclined to clean up this end because it is just kind of ragged looking, if I could see it. Whoa, I found it. Probably just going to be ragged looking, that's all. Well, I don't know if you noticed or not. I did not until just now. When I was cleaning up the end here, I dug into this side, right here a little bit. I thought this was a lot higher than it was, but here I have this little clean spot. So I've got a decision to make. I have no doubt that I can blend that in with my Sandoflex to where it'll look like it was natural, or I can take a little more off of this, which will clean this area out right here, which might take that color all the way through from one side to the other, because you can see a little bit of color in there, and you can see right here, maybe if the light's good, you can see right here where the color is coming through. So I could go clear out here. Of clear out here. Take this down a little bit more. So what to do, what to do? Fix it or fix it? I'm inclined to go ahead and just take off this high spot here and bring this down a little bit further. What do you think? What? I can't hear you. Come on, help me out. Yeah, I think I'm going to take this all the way out. All the way out. Is that what you said? Yeah, I agree with you. Good idea. What do you mean you said leave it? Nah, let's go for it. Okay, I readjusted the tool rest just to work on these areas here. I don't want to go too far. I don't want to get clear down here. I just want a nice clean patch, no bark right here, which means bringing this down just a little bit more. Here we go. Well, there's some color coming right there real good. Hey, you had your chance. I asked you. I'm delighted that it's more in balance, I can tell you that. See, I was paying attention, Kyler. Maybe I better check my depth. Oh no, we're good. Still have about an inch to go. Well, 3/4 of an inch. That is some pretty wood. I don't want to go so far that I start getting rid of the heartwood and back into the sapwood, but I like what I'm seeing. I have to be careful I don't go through the side here or here. I'd like a little steeper sides, but I just can't do it. This technique here, in case you're wondering why I thanked Tyler earlier, is instead of coming in here all the way every time, which takes time and it's a pain in the butt to clean out that little centerpiece, he keeps coming in here and like I've been doing, and then comes back this way and cleans it up. And that is quicker, no doubt about it, and less frustrating. So thanks, Ky, for that good tip. Ooh, that's some interesting grain right there. The color's nice, but that's a pretty cool grain. Maybe I can get a little steeper down here. I'm not sure why this is bumping like it is. There's some punky grain. Might be causing some of it. I gotta be careful I don't get back into that sapwood and lose my color. Remember, this was a full round piece and I'm more than halfway through it, and I'm gonna be getting back into the lighter color wood here pretty quick. Alright, I know that's not very good. I'm going to sharpen up my scraper and see if we can clean some of that up. Now I said I was going to sharpen my scraper. Actually I'm not. It's in pretty good shape. This is a round nose scraper that I ground into a negative rake scraper. And I showed this tip in one of my other videos and there were a lot of positive comments, so I thought I'd mention it again in case you haven't seen that video. In order to put a nice edge on here, all you have to do is take a round shaft screwdriver and just put it. It doesn't even have to match the bevel, the back bevel exactly. It doesn't have to match exactly. Just so that you're touching this, the cutting edge. And you just take it and just go like that. And you'll raise a nice burr. And that's all you need is a burr on a scraper. Yeah, that'll do a real good cutting job. And you can do it on a regular scraper as well. Doesn't have to be a negative rake. Just come along here, just get up to this edge. It doesn't matter about that bevel. You don't have to match the bevel. Just get up to the cutting edge and just go like that. Just put your thumb on it over here and apply a little pressure. Doesn't even take a lot of pressure. And you'll raise a nice burr on there. Okay? I hope you could see that. That's all you have to do. You can, I don't know if I can get close enough to show you that burr. I don't think so. But it's on there. And that's all you need to cut with. You don't have to take it to the grinder every time. Save your steel. Now let's try it, see if it makes any improvements to my cutting. I think what's happening, the reason this is so much vibration is I think this was a wet piece of wood. I think I told you it was only cut about 6 to 7 months ago. I think as I cut it, it's changing shape. But we're not giving up. See how punky that is right there? Yeah. That's exactly what's happening. It's just changing shape on me. I get out here, it's real bad. Well, it's a good thing I'm a patient sander. I'll keep trying, but it's just wobbling. I wish I could get the speed up. I think that's about as good as I'm gonna get it. I'll just start with a like 80 grit. Well, it's pretty dang pretty, isn't it? I think this was the right thing to do. That really brought that out, the color over there, and brought some of it over here. I wish those cracks weren't there. I did fill them with CA. But I think we're done turning. The bottom's a little thicker than I wish it was. It's about 3/8 of an inch, but I just cannot get a smooth cut. I can't go any thinner on these walls because of this, so I think we're done. Okay, let me get cleaned up here and stand by for sanding. Okay, I'm going to use the same process I did for the bottom, and I'm going to start with my Sandoflex and sand these areas here up through 180. I'll probably even sand inside the bowl up through 180. And then I will switch to my 2-inch sanding discs and see how that goes. I'm not sure with these two wings how that's going to be for me, but I'll give it my best shot. And I'll probably be doing it, I don't know if I'll do it spinning. Yeah, I guess that works. I'll probably stop it and do these wings like that, but I can do the inside of the bowl while it's spinning. I don't really want to get out here and I am going to sand the bark, but I want it to be a controlled sand. So I'll be doing it like this, holding it still while I do it. I don't want to round over these edges any more than what nature has done. So I'll be working on that for a while, probably an hour or two, and I'll bring you back when it's time to put some finish on here. Yippee! Well, it's coming along. I thought I'd give this a try. 2-inch sanding disc. I have to angle it upward so it hits the middle of the pad or so. Inside the bowl is easy peasy. Outside here with these wings, not so much. I might do something like that, I guess. Stop it once in a while. So I finished my Sandoflex with 180, and I'm starting here with 180, and I'll work up through 400, and then I'll bring you back for finish. Sorry to interrupt your nap. Well, the sanding was time consuming, just like I thought it would be, but it went well, and this is just smooth as can be, and I'm very happy with it. And now I'm just applying shellac-based sanding sealer, and I will apply this to the inside like I'm doing now, and I will apply it to the bark. And this little part right here, that's where the punky wood was, and when I sanded that, it sort of indented, and I'm sure it's going to really soak up the sealer. Now I did put shellac on the bottom, 2 coats, but when I do this, when I have bark like this, I don't put finish on, I just put sanding sealer on. And I'll just cover even what I did before, won't hurt anything. The dark color of the bark against the light color of the wood just makes a real nice contrast. So I'll get 2 coats of this on and 2 coats of shellac, and then I'll bring you back and we'll turn this around and take that tenon off. Yeah, I'm just real pleased. Looks good to me. So I'll see you back here in a little while. Okay, the finishing is done. I've mounted a block of wood in my chuck. I'm going to put this non-slip cloth over it and bring up the bowl and bring up the tailstock. I still have my center hole there for reference. Just apply a little bit of pressure. Wiggle this around, make sure that it's centered well. A little more pressure. Lock everything down, bring up the tool rest. Now I did make not a boo-boo exactly, but this raised area you see here, not the tenon, but this raised area, I don't think my base clears that. Let me check. No, it does not. So I've got to bring this whole raised area right here down below this base. So that's a little extra work with a knot thrown in for good luck. But we'll get it done. Let me get a gouge here and my mask and face shield on, and we'll get to taking off the tenon. Okay, I've got a nice sharp 1/2-inch bowl gouge here. Turn the speed up around 500. Yep, that's good. I can see light all the way across there. So now we'll work on this little bit here. Now I want to switch to a swept back gouge so I can get in there real tight. Now because this bowl is pretty heavy and off balance, this kind of scares me. So I've turned the speed down to 200. I'm just going to take my time. I'm going to press the bevel against the bottom of the bowl towards the headstock. I'm just using one hand, left hand on the switch. There we go. Well, here it is, one finished plum wood bowl in the books. I guess you'd call this a winged bowl. This was a fun turning for me. But I think this is my new favorite, at least recently. Lots of cool green in there. I hope it was fun for you to watch. Again, this video was inspired by Kyler over at Woodturner Ky. If you're not a subscriber of Kyler's, I recommend you become one. The young man is destined to become a star in the world of wood turning. If you like this video, thumbs up please, I'd appreciate it. Your comments are always welcome. If you're a subscriber, I truly appreciate that. Thank you very much. If you're not a subscriber, please consider becoming one. I put out regular videos, about one a week, and I'd like to keep in touch. So for now, this is Phil, Shady Acres Woodshop, signing off.